Hello, everyone. I believe I am now live. This is really exciting to, do my very first podcast that's live, essentially. I told you all that I wanted to, come back on YouTube and do a lot more, be a lot more on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is, because this was kind of like a random um, live stream, I'm going to kind of wait a few minutes before I get into what I'm actually going to be talking about. And I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday. I hope you all are having a great Sunday. I know we just had the holidays pass. I know we just had Thanksgiving pass, and then we have Christmas to look forward to. Speaking of Christmas, I will be putting up a lot of my Christmas decorations pretty soon. And I'm thinking about going live and doing it, or maybe just pre-recording some things. And I also want to go ahead and do Vlogmas as well. And on top of that, you all, I will be doing giveaways as well. So if you all are new to my channel, welcome to everybody in the chat. I see one or two people trickling in here. How are you? I hope you're doing good today. Before I start what the topic is, I just wanted to talk about Christmas and the holidays and everything that's coming up. And last year, I did the 4 weeks of giveaways, where each week in December, I actually gave something away. Now, due to the illness that's going around, I might not mail packages. I might just do something that's kind of like online, or I don't know what I want to do, but I definitely look forward to, just being in the holiday spirit, because there's been so much craziness going on around us. And at the end of the day, we all need to just relax and just enjoy life for what it is right now, because, you just never know from 1 minute to the next. Like, I'm really excited just to get in the holiday spirit, and I'm very, very happy. Once again, I'm just going to give it a few minutes, and also the show is starting in a few minutes. I'll get into the topic then. But definitely, I'm very excited here. So just to give kind of like an overview of exactly today and what I'm doing, I want to start a podcast. So I don't have a podcast name yet, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons as to why I haven't done my podcast, is because I couldn't think of a name. So the moment I think of a name, rest assured, I will let you all know. And because for me personally, when I do things, I have to do things in order. So, or, the proper way. So if I get a podcast name, I'm going to want to patent it, and that costs money, and you have to do things legally and stuff like that, so no one can steal your content or your name. So other than that, yeah, this podcast is going to be very exciting today. I'm so happy that people were able to put up decorations for Christmas already. That's really cool. I need to put up decorations. I'm really excited for it. And just a little background once again to kind of sum that up. This topic today is going to be about happiness, how to create your own happiness, how to create your own, happy mental space at the end of the day. And what inspired me to go ahead and do this is because I personally feel like I've been through a lot. So with that being said, I feel like I have so much to give people, in a sense of commentary, or in a sense of advice or tips, or just different things. And I think I can give insight on a lot of things that I've been through personally, or maybe get too, but give you all like a vague, image of what I went through. And a lot of people I guarantee a lot of people will be able to relate to me, because I've been through a lot of effed ups. And I really want to continue to do this whole podcasting series, because I literally sat down last night and I thought about so many different topics to talk about in my podcast. And I already have tons and tons of pages worth in my book as well. Definitely, we have to be grateful for what we have. I'm reading in the chat. You were so right about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get into what I'm going to be talking about today. We're at the 5-minute mark. Welcome to everybody in the chat. This is really exciting. Once again, if you are just trickling in, today I'm going to be talking about how to create your own happiness and how to, not base other people or other places or other things on like around your happiness. Happiness is within you. And funny story. There's a subscriber and her username is actually happiness within you. And that's another thing that I love because I remember when she first came into my live stream at one point, I was like, oh, I love your username. Like, I love that phrase, like happiness is within you. So it's kind of like foreshadowing there that I'm actually doing a topic on this. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it. So right here, I just have an image, and apologies if this is kind of like a little weird, but I'm trying to get the hang of this whole streaming thing. So right here, I just have create your own happiness. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. So as human beings, we see things in this world, whether it's social media like Instagram, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever the case may be, movies, TV, media, we see things and we see how other people are, flashy or showboating, or they have tons of money, they have tons of men, or they have tons of women, they're living the high life. And we naturally want to embody that. We naturally feel like, okay, well, if this person has this amount of money, then obviously they have to be super excited or they have to be super happy. Or if this person looks this certain way, then they have to be happy. Or for example, some people feel like they have to be with a specific person, whether that's a friend, a family member, a boyfriend, girlfriend, a husband. They feel like they have to be with that person to feel like inner peace, inner happiness, or validation. And in my personal opinion, I don't feel like that needs to continue to go on in our society because it's breaking people down. And this is one thing that I've struggled with, was trying to figure out what will make me happy. What does it even mean to be truly happy, or even if that's achievable? So I remember growing up, in my preteen years, my teenage years, I was just always not the happiest. Like, I just remember just, going through life. But, I'm sitting here, I'm 24 years old, and I'm just like, man, like, I can't really recollect a point where I was really like ecstatic, over the moon, like internally, like I'm so at peace with myself. I can't ever think of a point to where I could feel that or anything. And that's sad, and I definitely don't want other people to feel this. I definitely don't want other people to feel like, oh my gosh, like I can't have true happiness, or I don't even know what that even feels like. And personally, to me, the things that we try to put our energy towards that we think is going to give us happiness is not really the truth. For example, money. A lot of people think, oh my goodness, if I have all of this, then I will have true happiness. And that's not true. Like, that's not always the truth. You have tons of people. Look at people in the media. Look at all these celebrities. Look at Britney Spears, for example. She was literally, at her prime when she, had a mental breakdown and shaved her head and, was acting erratic. And she allegedly was at the height of her career. She was like a sensation overnight because, she was younger, she's pretty, she's talking about something raunchy, and, people loved it. And she broke down and, lost her mind essentially. Look at Amanda Bynes. She's another one, she's another one that, was a child star and had all of this money. And at the end of the day, she wasn't her happiness, and she had a mental breakdown. I apologize if I pause. I kind of have some notes here, but that's just a few examples that I can, that I'm telling you all. Like, money is definitely not a thing that's going to give you, true happiness. True happiness comes from within. And then I'll definitely give you all more insight on what that means by, saying true happiness is within. So again, money does not make you happy. And I'm reading in the chat right now, a lot of people with a lot of money aren't happy. Exactly. I live below the poverty and I am happy. Exactly. Money does not make people happy. It doesn't make you, I think happiness is just mental health as well. Like, it comes from that point. So the next point where people think that they'll have like true happiness is if they have tons of promiscuity or sex. So I know a lot of friends like, hey, I date this person, or I date this person. I go on lavish dates. I know another person that's not my friend anymore, but the moment they would get in a relationship and something would go wrong, they would jump to another relationship thinking that they'll find their true happiness. And they're basing their inner peace, their inner joy on other people and on if another person can, gratify them, whether that's emotionally or intimacy. And I think that's another thing that's, that's not positive to me, to feel like you have to jump from one person to the next, or to feel like I have to have, physical intimacy to feel some sort of inner peace or happiness. I think there's an underlying issue there that you have to be able to address and acknowledge and address, because I've seen it firsthand from my friends jumping from one guy or one girl to the next person, and they become bitter. Like, it's literally like watching a slow crash. Like, they become so bitter, they have a wall up, and they don't want to really love. They don't even know how to love at that point, or even how to be happy. And at the end of the day, I think when people are trying to base their happiness off of intimacy, sex, relationships, or money, I don't think that they're going to find their happiness, because those things are not forever. Those things are short term. You can lose a job and not have money. You can lose a relationship and not have that person anymore. And then guess what? All of a sudden, you think you're depressed, or all of a sudden you're super sad and you can't function, or all of a sudden you actually have anxiety. Like, there's other things that can come along, with that. And I think a lot of people in this day and age, they just don't have a mind of their own. So if they see something online that says, hey, if you have all this money, you're going to be the happiest person alive, they would just go along with it and think that that's what's right for them, and it's not. Another thing that I wrote down is drugs. Now, that can mean many things. A lot of people, they'll smoke cannabis, whether it's recreational, whether it's medicinal, or, different things like pills and alcohol. A lot of people base their happiness off of pills, off of alcohol, and off of, other drugs. And I definitely agree with everybody in the chat right now. Like, you have a lot of child stars out there who had the fame, has the money, they're, physically attractive and have a fan base, and they're not truly happy. So basing your happiness off of money, off of anything that has to do with, having friends or being in a certain relationship or anything like that, or being like, I need to have intimacy, definitely it's a no-go. And another thing, I think for sure people need to be mindful of who they keep themselves around. Because, for example, I'm not against medicinal cannabis. Like, I'm really not against it. But however, for some people, it creates a codependency. And some people may overuse or even abuse something like medicinal cannabis. For example, if they feel like I cannot have my true happiness without this certain plant, then they create a codependency upon that plant. So what happens when they don't have it? What happens when they can't afford to pay for their medicinal cannabis or their recreational cannabis? What if they don't have the money? What if it's not available to them? Then what are they going to do? I think for a lot of people, they're codependent upon so many things, and they feel like people, places, or things will give them inner gratification when it's not the truth. Yes, so I'm definitely here with you all, and I'm really happy that I'm doing this podcast. And please, if you have any comments, definitely continue to let me know below, because I'm really passionate about this, because this is something that I had to learn for myself. Learn. I had to learn how to love myself, or how not how to love myself, but I had to learn how to have inner happiness and inner peace without having tons of friends. I had to learn how to be happy without having boyfriends. I had to learn how to be independent and have inner peace within myself without, having tons and tons of money at one point, or having, certain things in my life. I had to learn how to seek inner peace and focus on me, because a lot of the times people just lose focus, or in their life so many things happen and they just deviate from their focal point, which is them. Like, you have to put yourself first. And with me, I have been extremely selfless, and I enjoy being selfless, but at the end of the day, in the past, I took away from myself at times where I should not have. And I was basing, if I had this many friends, or if I had close family members, or if I had a certain amount of money, I was getting my happiness upon things. And it just wasn't good. And I'm realizing that now, and I'm able to come out of that. I'm able to, look at the bigger picture and say, hey, like, friends or family, money, fame, Instagram likes, follows, you have to be like, that doesn't essentially mean anything to a certain extent, because it's like, you can care about those things, but if you allow it to over consume you, then you aren't going to be happy, because then you're going to be living for other people, or you're going to be trying to, do things in a way that is just not beneficial for yourself. So again, I had to learn to be my own best friend at times. For example, I was in high school. I was a whiz kid, quote unquote. I had a high GPA. I really didn't have like tons and tons of friends or anything. So there were times when I knew my friends were or other girls in the school were going out and having fun and going to parties or doing whatever. And I wasn't. I was home working on my homework assignment, or I was at home just watching the TV show, chilling. So it's just like, I had to learn to be my own best friend, and I'm so proud of myself for that, because on the outside looking in, when you look at a lot of these people who are quote unquote friends, for example, once they have a falling out, or once they are no friends anymore, see how they just turn against one another? And do you see how both of their demeanors just change? They both have no inner peace. They're both angry. They both walk around with a chip on their shoulder now. It makes them not is like unhappiness. So they based a lot of their happiness from that friendship, or from the amount of money they have, or whatever the case may be. So with me, I, again, going through life, I didn't have a sister. I don't have one. I wish I had a sister. I think that would be super cool. But at the end of the day, I just now understand you are your own best friend. So I know a lot of people are going through a trying time right now. So if you feel alone, or if you feel like a person isn't here for you, or a certain place isn't here for you, or if you feel like you don't fit in, or if you feel like you don't have enough money, or you don't have the look, you don't have the image, you don't have something, at the end of the day, stop yourself right now and realize that those things don't give you true happiness. Those things don't validate your existence. Those things aren't going to give you the ultimate gratification, because happiness comes within you. Do you love yourself? Do you care about yourself? Do you want to protect yourself, your heart, and your feelings? Those are the things that will give you true happiness, such as activities. What do you do for your own self? Do you go hiking? Do you, some people go to church, or they'll go join events or social groups. Do you go to the spa? Do you go play basketball at the rec center? What do you do for yourself? Stop focusing on other people, or stop waiting for other people to make you happy. For example, I used to have a friend, and she would always tell me like, oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. And I would ask her like, like, what's going on? Do you want to open up? Like, what's happening? And then she would just be like, well, if my boyfriend would just propose to me, then I would be happy. Then I would be like over the moon. And, then she go on about how she looks or how she gained weight. And then it's just like, to me, in my mind, I was just like, man, like, she's like saying she's depressed just because a certain person isn't like proposing to her. Like, you have to understand that that person cannot validate your happiness. Like, you have to seek that for yourself, especially in this day and age, because I definitely, I understand what a lot of people go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read what's in the chat. Mama Bubble said, I had to not be a people pleaser. Exactly. That's one of the biggest things ever. You just feel like you have to do something a certain way, or you feel like you have to have a certain amount of money or a certain look. Krista H said, I feel you. All of mine and my husband's old friends are either not with us or they're in a bad place, and you had to just drop them, and you love them. You have friends. Okay. And you have your kids. See, exactly. If you realize that people just good for you, or the social circle keeping around yourself and good for you, then definitely go ahead and do what's best for you. And if that means you have to separate yourself, to make yourself happy, then that's good. Another thing that I do to make myself happy is things like this. I don't really have that many people in my inner circle. So I just have outlets. So this is an outlet for me. It's therapeutic for you all, and it's therapeutic for me. Like, I have an outlet. I have people I can actually talk to. And besides doing things like this with my YouTube channel, I love kickboxing. I love anything to do with kickboxing or wrestling, anything like that. I absolutely adore it. I love going swimming. Right now it's getting cold, so I'm not trying to really go swimming. And then, with the illness going around, many places aren't open anyway. And also, I enjoy dancing. I enjoy just doing different things for me, especially when it comes to TV shows. I like watching my certain shows, especially like the ID channel, Investigation Discovery. Like, I love that channel. I love all those shows. It's like really crazy. It gives you crazy insight on so many stories, so many viral stories. And I just do things for me. That is what makes me happy. So in a nutshell, if you already are at peace with yourself, peace with, your kids, peace with your job, if you already have inner peace, anything that comes after that is just a bonus. It's just a bonus. So if you get a boyfriend and say things don't work out between you and him, guess what? It doesn't matter, because you are still at peace with yourself. You still love yourself. It doesn't matter. Or if you are already grateful for where you are and who you are, if you get extra money, then that's just icing on the cake. That's just a bonus. You wouldn't feel like codependent upon those things. So that's something that I definitely want to, get across to you all. I'm going to take a sip of water. Yeah, I definitely just think that people are just investing in the wrong things. They're investing in relationships. And I'm not saying that you're not allowed to emote, or say if you just got through a breakup, of course you're going to be sad. I think in a nutshell, what I'm saying is the happiness is love. You just have to love yourself first. You have to put yourself first. If something doesn't work out for you, or if a relationship doesn't work out, or if a job choice doesn't work out, yes, you will be disappointed. Yes, you will be sad, but it won't emotionally destroy you, because you are already solid in your self-love and in that foundation. And I definitely wanted to shed this light with you all because I know what it feels like to put all your eggs in one basket, or to be like, okay, if I just have this one person in my life, I swear I'm complete. And now that looking back at how I used to think, I'm like, I just set myself up for disaster, because I should never be like, oh my gosh, I need this one person in my life to feel complete. I should already feel complete, and anything that comes after that is just extra, right? And it's just about self-reflection. It's about self-awareness. It's about being willing to, accept your old mindset or accept your past behaviors and want to do better, want to, find positive solutions. And this is a lot of reflection I'm doing as well. Even while I'm talking to you all, I'm just thinking about certain things where I was basing all my happiness upon money, or I was like basing all my happiness upon how many friends I had, how many likes I had. And society is to blame too. I mean, let's get real. Let's talk about it. Society makes you feel like you ain't shit if you don't get a certain amount of followers, if you don't get a certain amount of likes. That even happened with my YouTube channel. When I first started, to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, when I first started YouTube about commentary, I was doing commentary about this one TV show, Teen Mom, and there were other channels that did it as well. And people would literally come to my channel and bully me and be like, you don't get as many views as this person, but you don't get as many views as this person, or yes, you even reporting on this news, such and such already uploaded a video on this news and she already has thousands of views. Like, I would get that constantly on my channel. I would be block deleting, and after a while, because I was so new to it, it affected me. And I was just like, so, like, do I even upload anymore? Do I want to upload? Does it even matter? Do people even care to hear my voice? Because I'm only getting a couple of hundreds of views and this person is pulling thousands of views, or this person is in drama and they're pulling all the views, or whatever the case may be. There was even a point to where subscribers were literally pulling up how much each YouTuber was making off of YouTube. And I'm like, what's the point of that? Because little do you know, I'm way smarter than you all. YouTube is not my full-time job. This is part-time. This is not even, I don't even consider this a job. This is just a paid hobby. It just so happened to be a paid hobby. But because people were in my comment section every day, all day, about the numbers, I'm like, okay, so I got to make sure that I'm more on top of the news. I got to make sure I have this thumbnail. I got to pay for this to have this type of intro. I need to make sure I have this music or this type of equipment. And I was starting to drive myself crazy, because why? I didn't have any inner happiness. I didn't have any inner peace. I was basing my happiness upon, pleasing people, or listening to the toxicity that was happening in my comment section. I was internalizing that and saying, oh, okay, well, if I do get this many views, then I'll be happy. Then I won't be so stressed out. And that's like, after a while, I had to realize my own toxic behavior and my own mindset. And I was just like, Yasmin, like, that's not cool. So I let go, and I was like, whatever views I get is what I get. Whatever subscribers want to subscribe, that's great. And I love it. If I get 100 views, oh my gosh, I'm grateful. Thank you, Lord. If I get 100 million views, oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Lord. And I had to learn to not base my happiness upon what other people wanted me to do, what other people try to manipulate me to do. I had to learn to not base my happiness off of how much money I made, how many friends I had, how many likes I had, how many views I had. And since I've done that, since I've purged all of that out of my life, you all, trying to tell you, there is a new Yasmin awakening. Like, this is a awakening. I feel like energetic. Like, I am so proud of myself for even doing this right now, because normally, you all know, I just upload a video and that's it. I have a Discord, which I need to link. And I'm not ignoring the comments in the chat. I will make sure I look at the comments. But, I would just upload my video and that's it. So it's definitely something that is internally within yourself that you have to let go of. Don't try to base other outside factors and say like, okay, well, if I just achieve this, I'll be happy, because this comes with in mind. It starts in the mind and then it resonates through the body. So if you're stressed out in the mind, if you're negative in your mind, your body is going to react to that. But if you just make up your mind and say, okay, listen, I am not going to do this anymore. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people think. I don't care if people are making millions of dollars and I'm making $5. I don't care. I love me. I love what I'm doing. I love the goals that I have. And I am happy. If you say that in your mind and if you feel it in your chest and you literally block out all the negativity, put blinders on, act like you just don't see it, or you see it, but it doesn't affect you, you will achieve your true happiness. And that is something that I feel like I'm literally embarking upon slowly but surely. So let me go ahead and look in this chat. And I'm so happy that you all are able to be here with me today on this Sunday evening. I'm so happy. Love and light to you. Well, thank you so much, Valentine. Love and light to you as well. Krista H says, so true. God says, love is all. Love God, love others. Be grateful for what you have. Trust God for what you need. Amen. I definitely agree with that. I definitely see where you're coming from. And it's definitely a spirit of love. It's just so good when you finally are, coming into your own self and being like, I am literally at peace in myself. Like, I don't care if I'm 100 pounds, I don't care if I'm 120 pounds, whatever. Like, when you truly feel like that, that's a high within itself. Like, there's days when I wake up and I'm like, man, like I feel on top of the moon. So it's definitely a true thing. Oh, Mama said, I'm so glad you never got into the drama. Definitely, I'm not about that. I definitely, sorry, there's like sirens in the background, but yeah, I've always had this personality to where I just wanted to weed out anything negative. I wanted to weed out anything toxic. And I even prayed, pray for peace, pray for happiness and love amongst everybody, because as you can see, these are trying times. You don't know if your friend or family is going to be here from 1 minute to the next. People are literally dropping like flies out here. And the last thing I want to do, or the last thing I want to leave behind, is drama. That's the last thing I want to leave behind. I want to leave behind things that are meaningful, or if I have children, or things that's going to make the world go round. That's what I want to leave behind. And I think that's where the true happiness comes from. And that's also where the self-love comes from. Krista said, I love how you never give into the drama. You're one of my faves. Thank you so much. I love you all. And I really, really appreciate, you all being here. I don't care if it's 4 people. I don't care if it's 4,000. The more and more I actually do this and schedule it and give you all a heads up in my community tab and stuff like that, we'll have a lot more viewers and we can have a lot more conversations about just different things, and you having to just literally mentally check out of so many things that's just not healthy for you, and check out of so many things that's just not going to give you what you need. And that is like literally in a nutshell what I wanted to talk about today. We just hit the 33-minute mark, and I definitely want to just leave you all on this note and say, don't place happiness, don't place anything like that inside of another person, because people are temporary. Don't place your happiness inside of a certain amount of money, because you broke any day. Temporary. And place happiness towards things that can be forever, such as your energy, your aura. And that's a very good topic. I literally just reminded myself talking about energy, talking about your aura. If you have a positive light about you and then you're constantly around somebody that's negative, how it can just bring you down. I have real stories like that I would love to share in regards to energy, positivity, positive vibes. I've literally, without giving the story away, because I want to do a podcast on this, but I literally witnessed two people so super happy, like whatever. And then literally, like the people beside them, their energy was even dark, literally transferred from one person, then the other person got set, and the other person got pulled into it. And I literally was like watching a chain reaction, like a domino effect. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this negative energy stuff is so real. That's why it's so important to make sure that your energy is protected, make sure that you are positive, make sure that your mind is safeguarded, your heart is safeguarded, make sure that you're at peace within yourself to where nothing else can sit over here and affect you. You have to be solid because that is real. That is so real. Phyllis said, I have not seen you in a while. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you as well. I'm so happy that you're able to join me today. As you can tell, we've been talking about how to be happy, how to not focus on things that are negative, such as social media. Social media is nothing but deception. And that's a separate podcast in itself because I literally have to write down so many notes about that. But definitely have your own inner peace with yourself, because I just witnessed so many people who lose themselves because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have this certain person, or I'm just never happy because I don't have this certain car, or it's like it can tear you down. So I'm definitely happy here to listen to what I had to say. Thanks, girl. I needed to get pumped up. I need to hit the book so I can decorate the tree. Oh, that is so good. I know I need to decorate my tree as well, like the law of attraction. Oh, you're very correct about that. That is so true. Phyllis said, I'm happy all the time, never sad. That's good because man, like life is so short. So we just have to learn to roll with the punches. And that's something, that I'm just living and dealing with as well. Like I used to just place my eggs in one basket or in this one person. And if this person wasn't treating me a certain way or giving me what I wanted or needed, I felt like I was just not in my true happiness. And that also has to do with your feeling validated in this world. Like we feel like we need other people or we need other things to validate our existence. And that's not true. You validate your own existence. You validate your own self. So if a person doesn't want to be your friend anymore, for example, or if somebody doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, for example, or if you're not making as much money as you were, for example, those things don't define who you are. Because at the end of the day, this is flesh. Our bodies are flesh. And we have spirituality, we have our souls. Like that's the things that need to be nourished. That's where the whole energy and stuff that I was speaking of, that's the stuff that actually matters. So I think a lot of people, especially our youth, their minds get warped, or they're just seeing so many toxic things. So they feel like, okay, well, in order for me to, get attention and feel like I'm somebody, I need to go, commit a crime and get on TV, or I need to do this and get on Instagram and go viral, or I need to do this certain TikTok video to go viral, or they feel like they have to go to great lengths to feel love. And that ties in with self-love. Because if you feel like you have to engage in certain things or have certain amount of people and likes and views just to feel like you love yourself, or just to feel like you're truly happy, that I feel like that's where the issue is, because you shouldn't have to feel like you had to do those things. And I definitely just wanted to share all this stuff with you guys. And I will go live, like in a sense of having like my cell phone camera, but today was kind of like a test run. But I did have a topic at hand that I did want to talk about, which is the happiness, and just definitely just feeling like no matter what, I'm okay. Like, and even if you feel like you aren't at your prime, or I'm happy, Yasmin, but I do know if I get this promotion that, yeah, that would make me a little bit happier. I definitely understand that, but at least you're focused on becoming, or achieving those goals, because some people just want to be in self-pity every day. They want to be upset every day. They want to, have a problem every day. And now I'm so independent in my mind right now to where even if I didn't have a relationship, or even if I didn't have certain things, then I'm okay. And I just want you all to be okay. And I'm so happy that I was able to give you all this message today. And once again, I will make sure that I do so many more topics. And if you all can think of a topic that you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section. I'll go back through your comments and look, pick the ones that are highly liked, highly requested. Let me know in the chat right now as well. Phyllis said, I don't care about social media. Krista said, yeah, social media is addicting. You said, thank you for going live today. Yeah, you're very welcome, and I'm so happy that you all could be here with me. Krista said I don't even have a Facebook. Yeah, speaking of social media, I literally have unfollowed a lot of pages. I've unfollowed a lot of things off of Instagram that was just feed my spirit every day, and it was negative. And I was over it. So I definitely, with social media, especially if you follow me on like my Instagram account, you'll see that all I try to post is like things that are uplifting. Like I'm not going to sit over here and post anything that's like, what is it? Like just negativity. Like I'm just so over that. It just taints your mind. So once again, I hope you all have had a good time during the stream. Once again, I'll make sure I do more. And then if you also have like anything to request, or if you definitely want to, just have different topics, let me know. I literally have a whole notebook full of things that I do want to talk about. So once again, that concludes my first task, which was a happiness, and you have to create your own happiness. You have to be your own best friend, especially in this day and age. And other than that, have a blessed and beautiful Sunday, and I will see you all in my next video. All right, see you guys. Stay blessed.